I think we all have such experiences. When you feel expanded, when you feel good, when you feel happy, when you feel loved. I often share with people, if you think of your first time you fell in love with someone, you don't know their bad qualities yet. You just, that's a really expanded state, because whenever you think about him or her, it's like, wow, there's, because in that moment you're not judging, you're not critiquing, or the mind does not have any of those thoughts that it does now. Now you've seen the limitations, you become the pigeonhole, or you become the well, small-minded, and so now you say, today he's like that. So So you think of that in that moment. Think of that space. The first time you come, have an experience of the Shakti, or of whatever it is, and in that moment, what does it feel like? There are no thoughts. You have nothing that's happened in life that you can actually compare it to, other than just knowing that, wow. And so I always feel that for all of us who continue on the path of sadhana, what keeps us going is that experience. Not necessarily that we remember it every single day, but memories of that keep us, Yeah. Right. It's there. It's embedded in you. It's just like fear is embedded in you, anger is embedded in you. That experience also becomes embedded in you. And then you think, actually you don't think, you just feel that's what I want. And so I think oftentimes what happens is, sometimes when an individual doesn't get there, he goes to the opposite spectrum. Instead of expansion, he or she goes to contraction, and therefore gets angry and filled with fear. And so what Asay wants us to do is not to go to that opposite space of limitedness, to try and... It's like I always tell people, when you feel yourself sliding into darkness within yourself, that don't go so far down that to come out is a lot more effort. So if you catch yourself faster, like stop yourself faster, earlier, sooner, and the slippage is not so much, you can just, but that's the effort each and every one of us, each single day has to put forth. Clash, no? Yeah. Because the other person also feels that you're operating from ego, so now they're operating from ego, and so it's like when two animals meet. One growls, so the other growls, It's just, like we always think, I need to respond. If somebody has written me something, somebody has said something, like I tell people, if somebody says, you are a fool, the conversation can end right there. You're a fool. But then you want to go and prove to me why you are not a fool. You'll solicit, other friends and at breakfast or lunch or dinner and say, can you believe he called me a fool? And so then somebody amongst your friends will go to that person and say, why did you say he's a fool? Whether it's Tim or whoever, And so then the other person feels that my conversation was Gina, why is this other person coming in? So now the ego is multiplied square, and then all of a sudden it's waiting for that moment. It's like the story of Nasuddin we hear. He wants to go to his brother to borrow a wheelbarrow. So he walks down. So as he's walking down, he begins to think to himself, I know he's going to tell me that he's already loaned the wheelbarrow. So by the time he arrives at his brother's door, he tells him, keep your wheelbarrow, I don't want it. The brother looks at him like, what? And Nasuddin says, It's okay, I don't want it. And so if we realize that that's often what we do also. I mean, okay, we may have asked, we may have had a conversation, and we may have been forgotten, but then that's what I try to say. It's like, we don't need to prove ourselves right or wrong. Just because I say you're a fool doesn't make you a fool. And even if it's said in front of 25 people or 50 people, it doesn't matter. Those who know you know you. It's like the story Swami Shanti Mandir used to say that his grandpa one day wore a vest, had a hole in it, and they were in Puerto Rico, and that's where they were from. So the grandma points out and says, your vest has a hole. He said, doesn't matter, everybody knows me. And then some months later, they happen to be in Manhattan, and he wears the same vest or jacket. And she says, there's a hole. That's the same jacket. He said, doesn't matter, nobody knows me here. So if we all can live with that understanding, those who know me, those who don't know me, don't know me. So